Next, please step forward, hand me your passport and your confirmation page. Good morning. What is the specific purpose of your visit to the United States today?
Did your heart just skip a beat? Did your palms start to sweat a little bit? Even though you are just listening to a podcast, hearing that tone of voice can make you feel nervous.
That is exactly right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Everyday English Podcast. I am Sarah, and I am here with Mark. Today, we are doing something very special. We are not just going to talk about English. We are going to live it.
Hi, everyone. I am Mark. And yes, Sarah is right. In our last episodes, we have talked about vocabulary. We've listed words you need to know. But we know that there is a big difference between knowing a word in your head and actually saying it when a serious government officer is looking at you.
That is the gap we want to bridge today. We want to take you from passive listening to active speaking. We call this a simulation episode. It is designed to be a safe space for you to make mistakes, freeze up, and then try again, so that when the real day comes, you are ready.
Exactly. Think of this like a flight simulator for pilots. You do not want to learn how to fly the plane when you are already in the air with passengers. You want to crash the simulator 100 times first. So today, I am going to play the role of the visa officer. I will try to be a little bit intimidating, a little bit cold, and very direct.
And I will be your coach. I will be sitting right here beside you. We are going to go through 3 rounds of questions. These are the 3 most common high-stakes topics in any visa interview: your purpose, your money, and your return.
For each round, I will ask you a question. And then, this is the important part, we will leave a silence. In that silence, we want you to actually answer out loud. Do not just think the answer, speak it. If you're on the bus, maybe whisper it. If you're at home, shout it. But you must move your mouth.
After you try, we will break down the best way to answer. We will look at the grammar, the vocabulary, and the tone. Then we will give you a model answer to shadow. Are you ready to get started?
Let's jump into round 1. This is usually the very first question you will hear. It seems simple, but it sets the tone for the entire interview. The topic is the purpose of your trip.
Before Mark asks the question, let me give you a tip. A common mistake here is being too vague. If you just say tourism or vacation, it sounds weak. It sounds like you haven't planned anything. The officer wants to hear that you have a specific plan. A specific plan implies you are a responsible traveler. Right. I am looking for details. I want to know that you know where you are going. So get ready. I'm going to put on my officer voice now. Imagine you have just walked up to the glass window. I'm looking at my computer screen, typing something, and then I look up at you. Here is the question. What is the purpose of your visit to the United States? Now, take a moment. Answer the question out loud. Okay, stop. How did that feel? Did you say one word? Did you tell a long story? A lot of students start rambling here. They say, well, I have always wanted to see America, and my friend said it is nice, so I thought maybe I would go. That is too much fluff. We need to be direct. The best structure here is subject, verb, object, and duration.
Exactly. You want to hit the key facts immediately. Why are you going? Where are you going? And for how long?
Let's look at a strong model answer. Listen to this sentence. I am going for a 2-week vacation to visit New York and Washington, D.C.
That is perfect. It is short, but it is full of data. It tells me the duration, which is 2 weeks. It tells me the activity, which is a vacation. And it tells me the location, New York and Washington, D.C.
Notice the grammar there. I am going. This is the present continuous tense used for future arrangements. It sounds very solid. You could also say, I plan to visit, but I am going sounds like the decision is made.
Let's try another variation. Maybe you are not going for a vacation. Maybe you are going for business or a conference.
In that case, you should name the event. For example, I am traveling to attend the Global Tech Conference in San Francisco for 5 days.
Excellent. Now I want you to practice this. I'm going to ask the question again. I want you to use Sarah's structure. State the activity, the location, and the duration. Do not give me your life story. Just give me the facts. Ready? Step forward. What is the purpose of your visit?
Great job. I hope you included a specific city name. That always helps.
It really does. If someone says, I am going to America, I get suspicious. America is huge. If they say, I am going to San Diego, I believe them.
Let's move on to round 2. This is often the most stressful part of the interview. The topic is money.
Money is uncomfortable to talk about in many cultures. We are taught that it is rude to discuss our salary or our bank account. But in a visa interview, you must be comfortable discussing it.
The officer needs to know two things. 1, can you afford this trip? And 2, who is actually paying for it? This is where we use the vocabulary we introduced in our previous episodes. Words like sponsor, assets, and self-funded.
The pain point here is sounding unsure. If I ask, how will you pay for this? And you look down at your shoes and mumble, I have some money, I am going to think you are going to try to work illegally in my country. I need confidence.
Also, be careful with your grammar when talking about who is paying. If you are paying for yourself, that is simple. If someone else is paying, you need to be clear about the relationship.
Let's simulate it. Imagine the scenario. You have told me you want to go to New York for 2 weeks. New York is expensive. I am looking at your application. I frown a little bit. Here comes the question. How do you intend to support yourself during your stay?
Go ahead. Answer the question now.
Okay, cut. Let's analyze that. This is a question where you should not just speak. You should usually show something.
Right. This is the moment to use the phrase, here is. You want to verbally direct the officer's attention to your evidence. You should say, I am paying for the trip myself. Here is my bank statement from the last 6 months.
That phrase, here is, gives you control. It stops you from rambling and focuses the conversation on the document. Now, what if you are not paying? What if your parents or a company is paying?
Then you must use the word cover or sponsor. You can say, my father is sponsoring my trip. Here is his affidavit of support. Or, my company is covering all expenses.
Covering all expenses is a beautiful phrase. It sounds very professional. It means they are paying for the flight, the hotel, and the food. It is much better than saying, my boss is giving me money.
Let's practice a specific scenario. Let's imagine you are paying for yourself. We want you to use the word savings and the phrase bank statement.
I am going to ask you again. Remember, look me in the eye, or look at your phone if you are listening to this, and speak clearly. Who is paying for your trip?
Did you use the model? Did you say, I am paying for it from my personal savings?
If you did, well done. That sounds responsible. It sounds like you are financially independent.
Before we move to the final round, I want to remind you that if you are enjoying this active practice, you should subscribe to the Everyday English podcast channel right now. We do not just talk about grammar rules, we create these simulations so you can build muscle memory. If you want more episodes like this, where we roleplay doctor visits, job interviews, or restaurant orders, hitting that subscribe button tells us this is what you need.
Absolutely. It helps us know to keep making these. Okay, are you ready for the big one? Round 3. This is the deal breaker. This is the question that causes the most rejections.
The topic is ties to your home country.
Let me explain what ties means in this context. A tie is like a rope. It is something that ties you to your home. It is gravity. I need to be convinced that you have a reason to come back. If you have no job, no family, and no house in your home country, why would you come back? I might think you plan to stay in the US forever.
This is where students often panic. The question might sound negative. The officer might ask, do you intend to stay in the US? Or, what guarantees do you have that you will return?
It feels like an accusation. And because it feels aggressive, candidates often just say, yes, I will come back, I promise.
But a promise is not enough. You need to list your obligations. An obligation is something you must do.
We are looking for 3 things usually: a job, property, or family. If you have a job, talk about your specific role and your return date. If you have family, talk about who depends on you.
Let's try a simulation. I want you to imagine I am looking at you very skeptically. I am not convinced yet. I think you might want to move to America. I am going to ask you to prove me wrong. Here is the question. You have a tourist visa, but many people decide to stay. What guarantees that you will return to your home country after your visit? Take a deep breath, speak your answer. Okay, that was a tough one. How did you handle it? Did you just say, I promise? Here is a strong template for this answer. We call it the anchor strategy. You need to drop an anchor. You should say, I must return by date because I have to, obligation. Listen to this model answer. I must return by September 15th because I have to resume my work as a project manager at my company. I have been working there for 5 years. Let's break that down. I must return. Not I want to return, but I must. It shows necessity. Then, resume my work. Resume is a great high-level verb that means to start again after a break.
And adding, I have been working there for 5 years shows stability. It shows you are not going to throw away a 5-year career just to be a waiter in New York.
What if they do not have a job? What if they are a student?
Then your tie is your education. Your model answer would be, I must return to finish my final semester at university. My classes start again on October 1st.
See how specific that is? October 1st. Specificity equals truth. Vague answers sound like lies.
Let's do one more practice on this because it is so important. I want you to think of your real life. What is the one thing that forces you to come home? Is it your job, your degree, your children?
Use the structure, I must return because. Prepare your sentence.
What assurance can you give me that you will return home?
Good. If you said, I must return because I have to take care of my elderly mother, that works. If you said, I must return because I own a business that requires my daily presence, that works.
We have covered the 3 main rounds: purpose, money, and ties. But there is one more thing we need to discuss, Sarah. It is not about what you say. It is about how you say it.
Yes, the delivery. You can have the perfect grammar, but if you whisper or if you look terrified, it sends the wrong message.
In English, we listen to the intonation at the end of a sentence. A very common mistake with nervous learners is something we call upspeak.
Upspeak is when your voice goes up at the end of a statement, making it sound like a question.
For example, if I ask, what is your job? A nervous person might say, I am an accountant.
It sounds like you are asking Mark if you are an accountant. It sounds like you don't know.
Exactly, it makes me trust you less. You need to use a falling intonation. I am an accountant. The voice goes down. It sounds final. It sounds true.
Let's practice that difference. I want everyone listening to try saying their job title right now. First, say it with a question mark. I am a student.
Now say it with a period, a heavy, concrete period. I am a student.
Do you hear the power in that difference? When you are in the interview, imagine you are simply reporting facts. You are not asking for approval. You are giving information.
Another tip for the how is speed. When we get nervous, we speak fast. We rush. We think that if we speak fast, we sound fluent.
But actually, speaking too fast usually leads to grammar mistakes and stumbling. It is much better to speak slowly and clearly. A slow pace shows confidence. It shows you are not afraid of taking up time.
So if the officer asks you a question, take 1 second. Breathe. Then answer. Do not jump in before they have finished the sentence.
We have done a lot of heavy lifting today. We have simulated the purpose, the money, and the return. We have fixed your intonation. Mark, do you think our listeners are ready?
I think they are much closer than they were 10 minutes ago. But here is the reality of learning a language. Repetition is the mother of skill. You might have understood everything we said today, but if you don't practice it again, you will forget it when the nerves kick in.
That is right. So here is our challenge to you. This video is about 10 minutes long. We want you to bookmark this episode. For the next week, every morning while you are having your coffee or brushing your teeth, play this video. When I ask the questions, answer them again. Try to answer them faster. Try to answer them with better vocabulary. Try to answer them with that strong, falling intonation. Treat this like a gym workout. You don't go to the gym once and get strong muscles. You have to lift the weight every day. This conversation is your weight.
And remember, if you found this simulation helpful, we have a whole library of lessons that break down everyday English conversations just like this, from ordering coffee to negotiating a salary. If you are worried about what happens if you simply do not understand the question, maybe the officer speaks too fast or has a strong accent, don't worry. We are working on a specific lesson about rescue phrases. These are professional, polite ways to ask someone to repeat themselves or clarify what they mean. That is a lifesaver. Never just say what to a visa officer. We will teach you the right way to do it. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that one.
To wrap up, let's do one final full simulation. I want you to put it all together. Mark is going to ask you the questions one after another without stopping for analysis. This is the real test.
All right, let's do it. No pausing this time. Just you and me. Stand up straight. Here we go. Good morning. What is the purpose of your visit?
I answer now.
And how long do you intend to stay in the United States?
I see. And how will you be supporting yourself financially during this trip? I see. And how will you be supporting yourself financially during this trip? And finally, what ties do you have that ensure you will return to your home country? Okay, exhale. You did it. Great work. Even if you stumbled, even if you made a mistake, you did it. You practiced. And every time you practice, the fear gets a little bit smaller. We are rooting for you. We know how important these interviews are. They change lives. But remember, the officer is just a person. And you are just communicating facts. You have the vocabulary, you have the structure. Now you just need the reps. Thank you so much for training with us today on the Everyday English podcast. Keep practicing, keep shadowing, and go get that visa. Good luck, everyone. See you in the next episode. Bye for now.